Hi Sam. It's great to see you again. Today, we're going to learn the word
Schweigen.
Hi Alex.
Schweigen.
What does that mean?
Schweigen.
means to be silent or to refrain from speaking. It's often used in contexts where someone chooses not to say anything. The most common meaning is simply to be silent, but be careful. It can sometimes be confused with
Schweigen lassen.
which means to let someone be silent.
That's interesting. Are there different forms of the word?
Yes, there are.
Schweigen.
Is a verb, and here are some of the key conjugations. In the present tense, you say
Ich schweige. Du schweigst.
and.
Sie, es schweigt.
In the past tense, you would use.
Ich schwieg.
For the perfect, you would say.
Ich habe geschwiegen.
And if you want to tell someone to be silent, you can use the imperative form.
Schweige.
So, if I wanted to say I was silent, I could say
Ich schwieg.
Exactly. And if you want to say I have been silent, you would say.
Ich habe geschwiegen.
What about the noun form? Is there a noun related to
Schweigen.
Yes, there is. The noun is,
Das Schweigen.
which means the silence. It's a neuter noun, and the plural is.
Die schweigen.
So you would use das before it.
got it?
Das Schweigen.
Is neuter. Are there any tips to remember that?
A good hint is that many nouns ending in are neuter. Plus, you can think of
Das Schweigen.
as a quiet space, which feels neutral.
I'm curious about where this word comes from. Do you know its origin?
Absolutely. The word
Schweigen.
comes from Old High German,
Zwiegen.
which also meant to be silent. Over the centuries, it evolved into the modern German form. It's fascinating how languages change, isn't it?
It really is. I love learning about word origins.
Now, let's break down the word.
Schweigen.
Can be divided into the root
Schweig.
and the suffix. The root relates to silence, and the is a common verb ending in German.
So, it's like building with Lego blocks.
Exactly. And since
Schweigen.
stands alone, we don't have any prefixes in this case.
Can you give me some similar words?
Sure. Here are a few. First, we have
Schweigen lassen.
which means to let someone be silent. Then there's
Abstimmen.
which means to vote and starts with the prefix. Other words with the same root include
schweigsam,
meaning taciturn, and
schweigend,
meaning silent.
And what about other verbs with similar endings?
Great question. Verbs like
liegen,
which means to lie down, and
fliegen,
meaning to fly, also share that ending.
Wow, that's a lot of words. Can we practice using
Schweigen.
in real-life situations?
Definitely. Let's say you're at a meeting and someone is talking too much. You could say,
ich schweige, weil ich nicht zustimme.
which means I'm silent because I don't agree.
Okay, I'll try.
Ich schweige, weil ich nicht zustimme.
Perfect. Another situation might be at a dinner where someone asks a sensitive question. You could say,
Ich schweige, die Stimmung nicht zu verderben.
which means I'm silent to not ruin the mood.
Ich schweige, die Stimmung nicht zu verderben.
Great. And lastly, if you're with friends and they're gossiping, you might want to say,
Ich schweige, weil ich nicht teilnehmen will.
which means I'm silent because I don't want to participate.
That's useful.
Ich schweige, weil ich nicht teilnehmen will.
You're doing wonderfully. Now, let's talk about the gender memory hints. Remember,
Das Schweigen,
is neuter, so think of it as neutral, like a calm lake.
I'll remember that.
As for usage notes,
schweigen,
is typically informal. You might hear it in everyday conversations. Some common collocations are
schweigen über ein Thema,
which means to be silent about a topic, and
im Schweigen verharren,
meaning to remain silent.
Are there any similar words I should watch out for?
Yes, be careful with
schweigen,
and,
schweigsam,
as they both relate to silence but are used differently.
Can you give me an example sentence?
Sure. You might say,
sie schweigt, wenn es schwierig wird.
which means she is silent when it gets difficult.
That makes sense.
Here's another one.
Hat lange geschwiegen.
Meaning he remains silent for a long time.
I get it.
Let's do a quick recall check. What does
Schweigen,
mean?
It means to be silent.
Correct. How do you say I was silent?
Ich schwieg.
Right again. What's the noun form?
Das Schweigen.
Yes. What's a common collocation?
Schweigen über ein Thema.
Perfect. And finally, can you give me an example of the imperative form?
Schweige.
Fantastic job, Sam. To sum it up, we learned that
schweigen,
means to be silent. It's a verb with a neuter noun form.
das Schweigen.
And it has some interesting origins. Keep practicing, and you'll get even better.
Thanks, Alex. I really enjoyed this lesson.
I'm glad to hear that. See you next time.